Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and I just saw Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers coming straight to Disney Plus, and I'm gonna give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler review and tell you if it's worth the watch today. But could you guys do me a favor? Hit that like button down below. It helps out the channel a real big deal. Thanks a ton, guys. So, we have Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers from director Akiva Schaffer. Yes, from The Lonely Island, and he's directed such films as Hot Rod and Pop Star Never Stop Popping. And it stars Andy Samberg, John Mulaney, KiKi Layne, Eric Bana, Will Arnett, J.K. Simmons, and a ton more. And the story is that after Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers was canceled back in the 90s, Chip 'n Dale went their separate ways, but they have come back together to try to find their friend Monterey Jack. Now, before we get any further into the review, I want to let you guys know that I have never seen a single episode of Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. I know the theme song, but I've never actually seen a full episode. Now, I wanted to say that first because there are going to be some people that say, Brandon, how could you watch this movie without seeing the TV show? Like, how is that even possible? Well, I'm of the opinion that any movie, if it's a good movie, you don't necessarily have to know the source material. You don't have to read the books or read the comics or see the previous films in the franchise. I'm sure that helps, but if it's a good movie, it can be watched by anyone. And there's really good news here, because Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is a great movie. And when it comes to animated films, when it comes to family movies, they really fall into two camps. And I talked about this in my Sonic the Hedgehog 2 review. You get the films that are really pandered to children, aka the lazy films, or you have the films that are for the entire family and anyone can watch them, and the filmmakers put effort into them. Thank goodness this is one of those films. This film is clever, it's fun, it's heartwarming, it's amusing, it is just a great time, and I was smiling throughout the entire thing. Well, actually, let me just be clear here. When the movie started, I thought we were in some really rough waters, because I was worried when this film started. First of all, yes, Chip 'n Dale don't sound like Chip 'n Dale. They sound like Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. And I'm like, this is just weird. I don't understand what they're trying to do here. I mean, everyone knows what Chip 'n Dale sound like. However, if Pikachu can sound like Ryan Reynolds, then I'm gonna let it slide. You know, maybe I'll be won over by this film. I was, but let me get there. And number two is that this is really a Roger Rabbit type of world where you have cartoons and human beings, I don't want to say living in harmony, but the two species are living in the same environment. And funny enough though, I saw Roger Rabbit for the first time last year. I don't know why I didn't watch that growing up, but it's a really great movie. And I was excited to see what they could really do with it, but I got worried because I thought we were going to get into just the I know that kind of camp. You know what I mean, right? Like, we have this as a Disney movie, so we're gonna see some Disney characters. You see Lumiere, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the extent of the humor. It's like, oh, I know who that is. Oh, look, there's Roger Rabbit in this movie. I know who that is. And I feel like some people get manipulated by that, where they see something that they know and they go, oh, look, I know what that is. That means that it's good. Rogue One, anybody? But that's another discussion. And my problem with that is that the novelty with that never sticks around. Movies like Ready Player One, Space Jam: A New Legacy, even The Avengers really hinges on the idea of, oh my god, look at all these things in the same movie. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, they're all in one movie. But we've seen this now, we're used to this now, and the novelty really wears off. Ready Player One, when we saw that movie for the first time, we're like, oh my god, look, there's Batman on the side of the mountain, there's Iron Giant, there's the DeLorean, like, oh my god, we know all these things. But once you strip that away, it's just a very simple story. So I was worried that this film was going to fall into that category. And then we see Ugly Sonic. And yes, you guys remember when the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out, we saw the design and everyone was like, oh my god, that thing looks hideous. And of course they changed his look. But that Ugly Sonic is at some convention in this movie. And I said, you know what? Movie, you won me over. Right away, you won me over, because I can tell that these filmmakers are aware of Hollywood, of animation, of what's going on in the world, and it's gonna be clever. I just knew it from that one moment. And just from there, it just started to snowball and snowball and snowball. Things started to get more and more clever, just one after another. Like Dale, our main character really in this movie, he has CGI surgery. Really, he's 2D animated, but then of course when we see him later on in the film, he is 3D animated, just like Alvin and the Chipmunks. He had 3D surgery. I got some work done, guys. Really clever. This film pokes fun at the originality of Hollywood, where you see Dale walking down the street and he's looking at posters and you see Mr. Doubtfire starring Meryl Streep. Just fantastic. You have Main Street in this movie, a place where all the cartoons live, and of course it's this really wonderful place full of songs and whimsy, but we realize that that's just the exterior to keep the cops away. really all of them are just crooks, and they actually do Muppet fighting, which I thought was just hilarious. There's a place called the Uncanny Valley for bad CGI like they have in Polar Express and Mars Needs Moms, and I don't even know what you call that animation, just really bad motion capture, right? But there's a place called the Uncanny Valley where all those characters live, and there's cats there, right? Like the Judi Dench cats, right? Yeah, we don't talk about that. But the most clever thing of all is that Peter Pan, it's in the trailer, is the villain in this movie because he was cast out of Hollywood. He was known as the boy who didn't grow up, but of course he grew up and he was a child star in Hollywood. So to get revenge, he makes these bootleg copies of different movies and he's portrayed as a mob boss. Come on, this movie is fantastic. Like, is that not brilliant? So this movie is just oozing with creativity and it's funny. The first couple jokes I was like smiling. I'm like, okay, I know that Lumiere is a Disney character. He's in this movie, sure. I was worried about that. But over the course of the movie, the laughter kept getting bigger and louder from me. I had a really great time with this movie, and when the credits started to roll, there's a great Post Malone song there as well. I was smiling from ear to ear. I was thinking to myself, I want to watch the show now. I want to get Chippendale merchandise. I am now a Chippendale fan. This movie was great. The animation is stellar, and they have some amazing heartfelt moments of friendship in this movie, and I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to give away the real heart of the movie, but this movie really is about friendship. So this movie even has its heart in the right place. Now, I only have 2 complaints, and they're minor. Trust me, they're minor. They don't derail the movie by any means. KiKi Layne, there are some moments where I cringed at her performance. Just being honest, there were some moments where she's like, what? I can't believe it. You made me feel bad about myself. I don't know, come on. There are some scenes where I'm like, okay. And another complaint is that the third act does turn into this action climax, this adventure movie, and I'm thinking, you know what? I found this movie way more engaging when it was really clever and it was poking fun at Hollywood and at different animation. And, you know, I've seen enough of this, like, third act Hollywood, fight the big bad guy kind of stuff. Sure, it is a Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie, so it needs to be like an adventure, but that's where I kind of started to get a little bored. I'm like, okay guys, let's wrap it up. But again, those are just minor complaints. Overall, I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie. I can't say that I loved it, but I really did enjoy it. I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 5. Even if you've never seen a single episode of the show, I really do think you will like this movie because I've never seen the show and I really did enjoy it. So now you know my thoughts on Chippendales Rescue Rangers. Let me know yours down in the comment section down below. And thank you guys so much for sticking with me to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more videos just like this, then definitely hit like and subscribe. And come visit me on my Patreon page. We got exclusive content on there, live streams, hangout watch-alongs, contest giveaways, and we got a great community of people on there. You can find them all right here. Thank you guys all so much for all your support. And please be sure to check out my partners at Movie Scene Canada. They made this screening possible. Their link is down below in the description. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at BrandoCritic. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.